Okay guys, so I was able to go ahead and shuffle my decks, and I'm going to give a pick a stack reading for the collective. I'm still out here where I took my dogs for a run. So I am going to do 3 stacks, and here's my dogs. I want to say, okay, so the first stack, if you resonate with my dog Honey, that'll be stack number 1. If you resonate with my dog Bubbles, is a sweetheart, then that'll be your stack number 2. And if you resonate with my beautiful crystals, I have a nice amethyst obelisk wand here and a blue lapis for the speaking of the truth, the throat chakra, and those are the 3rd stack if you resonate with those. Okay, I'm going to be drawing from 3 decks, and I will use the 2nd to clarify the 1st, and the 3rd will be a healing message. The 3rd deck. Okay, so 4 stack. So let's see. Okay, ancients, through the tarot of the golden dawn, please deliver us the messages you want us to hear to the collective for this pick a stack reading. I'm doing this in my car, so it's a little bit ad hoc, but it's way cooler than going back in the house right now. So, all right, so this is the Finestra tarot, and I would like to clarify that original message from the ancient ones, those who were here at the beginning, who have evolved, transformed, and grown into who we are now. Give us the messages we need to hear, those things we need to know for the next week for the collective, for your pick stack reading tonight. I do read inverted in this deck. So I'll turn over cards, and until I get one that is upright for your course correction, I will read the inverted ones first. Those will be the things that you have to overcome in order to move forward to the upright positioned card. And then for the final healing message will come from the fairies. Because even though it's cold outside, they have plenty to tell us, especially when I'm in nature or I'm outside enjoying something like the sunset, or a walk with my animals, or communing with my crystals. I am connected to many, many, many spirits. I am not shut down to the messages of extraterrestrials. I am not shut down to the message of any outside entity that wants to come through me, as long as it is in the light of the good. I have my ascended masters and guides protecting me, and our final healing message, as they are our miniature protectors as well, is from the fairies. And these are going to be beautiful messages today that are really important, because it just so happens they all come out upright. So that's a really good sign that we are progressing on our healing path. And because I'm a little bit blind for interpretations, got my handy flashlight. Okay, so those of you who resonated with my big yellow dog, Honey Bear, she's a German Shepherd, by the way, and she is 9.5 years old. She doesn't look it, but she is. Okay, so your stack number 1, your message. This deck I do not read in inverted, because the ancients don't like to convolute their messages. They want us to hear them in the most straightforward light. Is number 11, That is expiation. Oh, that's not 11, that's 12. It's kind of like the Hanged Man, but because this is an ancient deck with the original interpretations, I like to incorporate them as much as possible when I give you your full reading. So So it's definitely a period of transition, not just for me, but for those in the collective, experiencing a time of introspection, searching of the soul, the idealistic viewpoint of who you really are, that is on target for much of what I have been feeling and picking up intuitively and empathically. There are many out there going through a transition or transformation when they don't have anyone around them that understands what they're going through, and there are no answers that they can find outside of themselves. The things that they normally use outside themselves to soothe themselves, such as vices or people or addictions or distractions, are no longer working. So you guys have become detached from the material realm, and you are going within to the subconscious realm, and that is a good thing. That means you are moving forward on your journey because you are willing to look at the side of you that is not often seen, the side of you that has been hidden. And I'm feeling a calling, and I heard this earlier today in a clairaudient transmission. The time is now, the time is now, the time is now. Remember who you really are. We're being called as a collective consciousness to remember our true origin and to eclipse our ego and allow it to step down from its desire to control everything, and to realize that our wealth comes from the wealth of our soul. And those of you who are out there trying to co-create and become master manifestors, that's where it begins, is from going within. And your cards from the Finestra, so you've got the Seven of Pentacles inverted, and you've got the Three of Pentacles inverted. Yeah, that's definitely the detachment from the material. And then, and as for the conclusion of that, when you come to the King of Wands, and I can really relate to the King of Wands. To me, it's got the similar energy of the Magician. It's a realization of the magic of who we can create ourselves to be if we so desire to move forward on our journey. I'm going to clarify these inverted ones to make sure I get the correct meanings. I don't want to give you guys the wrong meaning here, because I really do stick to the true meanings of these cards. That's what I feel called to do. So you had the Three and the Seven of Pentacles. That's a real emphasis on letting go of the material realm. You have been experiencing a lot of financial anxiety, some loss possibly through gambling. You are experiencing a preoccupation in your mind with needing to profit, needing to have money. Perhaps you're trapped in a situation where you're desiring money to get yourself out of it. Perhaps you are simply trying to break free from your own mental traps in order to better serve your community or your family and friends, those who are around you. Perhaps you simply feel a need to provide or survive. And what Spirit's calling for you to do here is to transcend that ideal by going within. If you want to truly manifest the wealth that you want in your life, you're going to need to embody that King of Cups. Where did he go? King of Wands, I'm sorry. Oh, he fell through. Okay. And so the fairies, the King of Wands, let's see what it specifically says. He is a magician of sorts. He has mastered his ability to create his own reality. He embodies growth, new beginnings, and authority. He's very passionate leadership. It denotes that you have found your passion and you want to share it. You want to share your passion for being alive with those around you. And you want to do this by providing a financial windfall. And you may have even made some mistakes through gambling, like it says, but I'm telling you right here that the way you've been going about it was an error in the ways, but you have realized this. You have come to a position of authority within your mind and or your situation, and it looks like you have decided that a new location, this could be a new job, this could be moving, this is the way of healing what's going on. And this is from the fairies, and they know how important it is sometimes to energetically like really cleanse yourself of an old location and move on to a new one so that you can gain a new perspective on what reality is. And if it's about financial gain or financial profit or stress and anxiety surrounding that, that means that you are definitely needing to go within and seek an advisor if you have not become the King of Wands yet. Okay, so those are the messages for the collective that chose stack number 1. Right. Now, stack number 2, those that resonated with my little dog Bubbles back there, the little white chihuahua. It's my adorable baby. Stack number 2, you guys have drawn the soul. Nothing less than the integrity of your soul's growth is at stake during this period, during this next week. Let's see what the ancients are telling me about the needs of your soul right now. That's number 14. I don't know if anybody's out there interested in numerology. 14 is a 1 plus 5 is 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 is a number of change, transformation. Oh, it looks like you guys are going through a happy transformation. That's what the journey of the soul is. It is a happy experience. You have attained a state of harmony and serenity within yourself. You have come into a situation where you were able to adapt. You have been able to achieve a state of moderation in all your experiences. You're enjoying where you're at with a healthy, robust enthusiasm. It is time to take a rest or go on a holiday. There is a positive healing energy that is surrounding this attitude, whatever you've done to gain it. Remember it, write it down, honor it, light a candle for it, because it will be something to hang on to when you perhaps may go through a new period of strife. Now, this rest of your reading should be an explanation of this, how you came to that place, although it also could be a projection of the future state as you move through this, depending on why you're looking at this reading. It is a message from the collective, and you have the 9 of Wands inverted, and then you have the Two of Cups. Ooh, that's a beautiful card. That's kind of like the Lovers. That's a partnership, a coming together of minds. Oh, it looks like you have found a new lover. I was right in the beginning. That is a representation of the Lovers. This is the healing that is called for by the fairies, is sexuality. Okay. So I'm feeling called to, well, let's look up the meaning of this inverted Nine of Wands so I can clarify this for everyone. I don't want to get that wrong. I'm dropping cards. I know where we're at though. Okay. Nine of Wands inverted. This might have been some difficulty you have to overcome or have already overcome, either within yourself or without. As above, so below. As within, so without. Yes, it definitely was an obstacle, some adversity, some vulnerability. That's what that card represents. Okay, I'm going to read the sexuality card too. So it looks like you guys have found your sense of harmony through a new lover, which, congratulations. But this is what the fairies have to say about the healing that's necessary or being called upon you for. I'm going to read it directly from the Oracle deck so that you get the affirmations and the positivity of the message that the ancients are bringing to you to the collective. Your sexual self needs some attention. By drawing this card, you are urged to be honest with yourself about your sexuality and to take appropriate steps. Sexuality is an important part of life, not just to your physical self, but also to your emotional and spiritual self. So you may be involved with a situation that's really just about the sex and not about the connection with another human, another soul. And so maybe you're being called to look past the desires of the flesh and to look into the wholeness of the need for sexuality in your world. It is about an emotional and spiritual self-need too. The fairy realm understands the unique joy that comes from sexual experiences, and they know about the divine light that is created when you merge with a beloved partner. They understand the release that sexuality brings about. By drawing this card, you are being guided to heal any sexual issues that may have arisen from negative experiences. So, some of you may have been experienced a sexual abuse or assault or a rape or just a past memory of a negative sexual experience that's been holding you back in a relationship or in a partnership or stopping it from moving forward. And so you're being called to heal that part of yourself so that you can experience the true healing energy of what sexuality and sexual experiences can bring to the wholeness of a soul's well-being, physical well-being as well. Maybe sex has been an empty addiction for some of you, an obstacle you had to overcome, as in allowing yourself to be fully in your sexuality or identifying with your sexuality. If you were ever sexually abused, this card may signal a call for help from your inner self. You may be directed to get professional counseling or a support group to overcome negative sexual or body image issues. Ooh, body image. That one's come up a lot lately. There are a lot of us females out there who've been taking to heart too many judgments of what we see on TV as what women are supposed to look like, or what we have heard from our counterparts as to what they prefer, if they don't like fat girls or what have you. There's been comments made a lot that have affected people that I know and love and experienced some eating disorders, even just because of their image of their body. It is not a healthy thing, and it can really stifle your sexuality and cause you to seek out negative behaviors. And as the fairies have encouraged, I would encourage you to, if you've been through this kind of experience, to seek advice or counseling in that area, because really those things take a while and a lot of nurturing to heal. However, if that is not the case and you are, like I said, experiencing just kind of an emptiness in your sexual world, let's keep going and see what other advice the fairies have. They are calling you to heal a sexually unsatisfying relationship. This fairies will guide you to the appropriate resources. So if you don't know where these resources are, trust in them. If you don't believe in fairies, or if you don't want to call on the spirits of nature, whatever angels, guides, ascended masters, Jesus, whatever, or whomever you need to seek out, you'll be guided so that you can be allowed to truly, freely experience the dynamic aspects of your full sexuality. And the fairies are also, or your spirit guides are also asking you to affirm to yourself that your sexual self is attractive, regardless of how you see it. It is healthy, and it is able to experience great pleasure if you will allow it, if you will get out of the way and allow it to heal. Okay. Okay, so that is it for the second card, second stack. I thought I had another king. Oh no, it was this one. The two of cups. I'm sorry, stack number 2. I'm gonna double check, make sure I was correct on that relationship card, that 2 of cups. I'm just now coming into fully realizing the symbolism of the cards, so that it makes it a little easier if I go back and reaffirm that I'm correct in my interpretation, so that I gain more confidence in giving my readings in the future. Yes, it is a partnership, a sharing and understanding, a friendship, a balance. So maybe you will find the balance that you need through someone who is a friend, who you can talk to, who will help you understand that the needs that you have in your relationship are valid, and that it is a healthy thing to seek out a healing in your sexuality and in your friendships and in your partnerships. So yeah, that was a correct interpretation. Yay me. Anybody want to send me some love out there? The love or the energy exchange that I'm asking for today is simply some feedback, some comments, some positive words, some negative words. I don't really care what you give me, as long as I get some information that I can grow from and through. I am looking to see if this is part of my purpose, because I really feel drawn to the tarot. I've been taking a class in oracle guidance, and I am traversing through the hardest parts of it, and I want to understand better how my gifts can serve the collective. And so that's why I'm doing a collective reading tonight. And so one final stack, those who resonated with these 2 crystals, the amethyst and the lapis, for healing and owning your truth and speaking it. Okay, so by the way, the spirit of the dog, which is why I chose my animals to represent the first 2 stacks, is a loyal and nurturing and kind and fun-loving energy. I have a protector energy coming from my honey bear dog, the big one, and she is a very loyal protector who is very much a telepathic animal, and she can sense when you are in fear, and she will come and sit near you and soothe you. My smaller dog has the more hyperactive, high energy of someone who is very attached to me and her need for physical closeness, her need for affection, her need for reassurance that she is safe, and that is why they make such a good pair for each other, as well as for me. And I also feel why that was a very correct representation of both of them for those stacks for the first two parts of this reading. So I'm moving on to the final and third reading for the Choose a Stack collective reading from the Ancients. Where'd it go? Your first card, oh, there it is. Your first card is the Imaginary, which is the Fool. In what you might know as traditionally as the Fool. These cards are actually the original deck, first created in history of tarot, and so are only the major arcana, and therefore for me they contain so much information and truly the essence of what the major arcana represents on so many deeper levels than we might get just from a regular tarot deck, which is why I like to include them in my readings for some ancient wisdom, some knowledge that comes from the beginning of all things. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So the Fool represents freedom from concern over natural matters, extravagances, follies, incomprehensible actions, high action of lightheartedness, journeys, physical and mental holidays, inexplicable actions or words. So you may be finding yourself acting foolish, acting childish, or, really just truly embracing that energy of let's go on an adventure, kind of no cares, carefree kind of energy in your general inner energy that you're drawing on right now. And so the Finestra is signaling to you. Doesn't look like you have much to worry about. Okay, so you may have had some financial instability with the Four of Pentacles inverted, but this has worked itself out already. If it hasn't, it's going to, because then it comes back to the King of Pentacles upright. And so I'm going to clarify that real quick with my book here. So, yeah, it looks as though what this interruption in the foundation of your financial situation was based on greed, based on being stingy, not being in a lack mentality, so that you thought things were going to run out, so you held on to stuff that you could have shared and had a good experience from it, and you recognized it in hindsight, and so it looks like you've corrected that course with the King of Pentacles coming out afterwards. And these are both, regarding money and material things in the material world. And it's King of Pentacles represents a logical, methodical, responsible, and solid person in business who is very smart and already prosperous, very mathematical, and even scientific. Yeah, it looks like you were greedy and you wanted to sit on your throne alone, and it was a silly mistake, and now you realize it, because now you realize that's where your abundance came from, was through sharing it and being appreciative of where it came from, and that is within. I may not have said it tonight, but I'm going to now. Our wealth, our true abundance comes from being wealthy and abundant within ourselves first. If we want to manifest a physical reality that is actual dollars in the hand or actual things in our life, we first have to go inside and fill up that bank, that pentacle bank inside of us, so that our spirit can will it to be manifested into our reality. And the healing message looks like you need to laugh at yourself from the fairies is saying, don't be so serious, because life is not as scary as you're making it out to be. And laughter is the best medicine. You can't see these cards very well. Laughter is going to be your answer to your woes, or to continue the final happiness that you've been able to achieve through realizing what's going on in your world. Let's see. This is definitely something in the external material world. Every cloud not only has a silver lining, but it also has a luminous side. Try to objectively stand back from your situation and find a humorous twist. Laughter will help you see your life from a new perspective so that you can receive creative insights and solutions. So yeah, you're very astute at achieving your stability, and have been in the past, but something has come upon you that has called you to step out of the seriousness of who you are and loosen up. Otherwise, your abundance could dry up, or your creativity could dry up. That little mishap with the greed or the stinginess situation, that was a reminder lesson. You've already learned it. You don't want to go backwards and borrow old lessons from back in time. I mean, I guess you can if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, Spirit's always going to make it available for you to go back and relearn a lesson if you didn't learn it right the first time. But I'm thinking I only want to relearn the ones that aren't so painful. You're much too serious about life, according to the fairies. They aren't asking you to neglect your responsibilities. Simply let go of the sacred reverence for life, or defend your emotions with jokes. Instead, you're being asked to see the humor that runs through the thread of life. Like a brilliant comedy, our lives become more enjoyable when we can see them through the eyes of a humorist. Okay, so, there are enough tears in the world. There's enough serious shit going on in the political realm, in the physical realm that we live in, that, sometimes we just gotta laugh at ourselves. We gotta laugh at the things that happen, because to take it all too seriously is never going to achieve prosperity or growth. Laughter helps us to stand back and see ourselves and our situations more objectively. When we laugh, we relax. And when we relax, creative situations and renewed energy course through us more easily. What a blessing. I know, baby girl. She's whining now. She's so physically needy. So take time today to laugh. For instance, go and see a new funny movie or a play. Buy a book, buy your favorite comedian, or exchange silly jokes with a friend. Your affirmation is, I find the humor in life and I laugh easily. So these messages will not and cannot resonate with everyone. Those star seeds, those on a twin flame journey, I am similarly on those, so I may be bringing that energy into this reading, and you may resonate with that part of it. Those who really just don't like what I have to say, it's real simple. You don't have to be angry unless you need to express that anger, which I am open to that. You can simply just click off my video, but I would love it if you would like and subscribe, and probably even visit my other channels. I'll leave links to them. I'm going to post this one on Facebook so that everybody can see today my sunset walk with my dogs and our collective 3-stack, choose a stack reading for your next week. And I will get back with everyone with the next reading that I am able to produce. I know that my spirit is calling me to produce. It is also calling me to understand that learning is not the only thing that I have a purpose to do in this life. I am a massive absorber of information and learner, constant student of life, and that sometimes I need to get out of myself and take an action. And so I am making this production tonight and putting it out there for real on my Facebook so that people will see who I really truly am, and not the version of me that my ego created to survive society's expectations. I am not afraid to be myself. And so it is.